Malaysia has jumped 4 places in the latest World Economic Forum Global Competitiveness Rankings. It is now the 20th most competitive economy in the world according to the WEF, the first time it has appeared in the top 20. Malaysia's rise in the world rankings is judged to have been driven by improvements in its infrastructure. Malaysia has stayed ahead of the other developing Asian economies such as Thailand, Indonesia and Philippines. There is also some bad news for Malaysia. It slipped 6 places in the WEF's ranking of macroeconomic environments. It's now 44th in the world, down from 38 last year. Independent economist Lee Heng-gui thinks that the government has to act to improve Malaysia's economic prospects.
There remain challenges ahead to sustain or strengthen further the index, given both the domestic and external constraints. Macroeconomic environment, the indices has dropped. And there's another area which also see a significant drop is the technological readiness by Malaysia. So I think the government needs to work on these 2 areas in order to sustain this competitiveness index. But I think next year would be very challenging. Why? I think looking at currently, the consumers and households are bracing higher cost of living. The business sector will be operating within a very constrained economic policy environment next year, which will be brought about by the subsidy rationalization and the implementation of the goods and service tax in April 2015. And I think it's important for the government to enhance accountability and transparency of the public sector policy. I think one aspect which I think government should work on is to ensure a very good governance structure that will ensure a level playing field, enhancing business confidence.
While the WEF's assessment is largely positive, it has identified Malaysia's budget deficit, the low number of women in its workforce, and its relatively low-tech economy as danger for its competitiveness. Questions are being asked about the Energy Commission's award of a contract to run a gas-fired power plant to 1 MDB 7 years before it will become operational. Contracts are usually awarded just 3 to 4 years before a plant opens, the time it takes to build a plant. This is regarded as the best way for the government to the best deal for the taxpayer, as operating costs usually come down over time because of technological improvements. This means bids are lower as it gets closer to a plant opening. Energy analysts believe that the best price cannot be negotiated over such a long lead-in time, prompting questions over the relationship between the Energy Commission and the government-linked 1 MDB. Despite their concerns, no industry experts would go on the record when contacted by StarBiz TV. The Energy Commission and 1 MDB also refused to respond to our questions.